Good morning, Evergreen Elementary School. Welcome to Morning Message. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today, our Gator weather report looks like we're going to have another mostly cloudy day, high of 54, and rain coming in tonight. And it looks like Wednesday's going to be a rainy day and a little bit colder, but then maybe Thursday we might get back up and see some sun. So let's hope for that and get outside and play. Quote of the day from Dr. Taylor: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Our word of the day is gravity, the force that pulls objects to one another. I always thought gravity made me fall off of chairs and fall off a ladder or fall onto the floor. But there's a force that's pulling me and attracting me to something else. Maybe we could all go learn a little bit about gravity today. Look it up. Don't forget, our Mother's Day is coming up on May 10th. Here's a little project for you to try for Mother's Day. No birthdays today, but we'll be celebrating tomorrow. And don't forget, lunch and breakfast are available 11 to 1 every day. What are you doing at home to be the kind kid? I want to hear about it. Ever kind. We are kind at Evergreen to each other. And you have this opportunity to be kind at home. Well, today is known as Cinco de Mayo. If you ever heard that, we have some special guests today. We have, and we're going to be featuring a lot of our fourth graders between now and the end of the year. So today we have some fourth grade students that are going to talk to you, and they have something in common. They have in common that they came from different countries. So we're going to let them talk. Miss Burdette met with them today, and they're going to have a little conversation. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I have been to some other countries. I have been to Mexico. I've also been to Venezuela. I lived in Paraguay for a while. And I've also been to the Dominican Republic, which is where Pedrabel is from, and she's going to talk to you in a second about that. But we are just going to talk a little bit about the countries where they come from so we can learn about the world that we live in. And it just so happens that tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, which some of you guys have heard of, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you where we're going to go. So the first place that we are going to visit probably looks pretty familiar to you because it's a place that we all know pretty well, Evergreen Elementary. So if we start out at Evergreen Elementary and we go to the first country we're going to visit, we are going to go to the Dominican Republic. So we're going to leave Pennsylvania. We're going to go all the way to the Caribbean, which is right here, this island. And this is the Dominican Republic. So I'm going to talk to Pedrabel now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And this is Pedrabel, my student.
Hi.
Hi, Pedrabel. How are you?
Good.
So I just wanted to ask you, I'm doing well. I just want to ask you a couple of questions about the Dominican Republic, where you come from. First of all, where is your family from in the Dominican Republic?
My mom is from Punta Cana and my dad is from San Juan.
And how is the Dominican Republic different from the United States?
Well, in Dominican Republic, it's hot. It's it's like summer, all year long, and it's around 85 degrees every day, or it could be more. But in August and July, it's one of the months one of the months that are the hottest.
So it's tropical. It's like a tropical country. And when you're there, what are some things that you like to do?
I like to spend time with family and my cousins and go to beaches, resorts, and we sometimes go to restaurants and on the beaches.
Okay. And then speaking of food, I wanted to know, is there any special dishes that come from there?
Yeah, one of the main foods is a food called mango, and it's minced meats with mash, and you can eat them with fried salami or fried cheese, or even both of them together.
That's one of my favorite dishes because when I lived in New York, I lived in Washington Heights, and a lot of Dominicans live there. And that was one of the foods that I love to eat the most, especially for breakfast time.
Yeah, I eat it for breakfast sometimes.
All right. Is there a message that you want to say to your friends, maybe in Spanish, so that we can hear your Spanish a little bit?
Lo extraño mucho, pero a mí me gusta estar en la casa más que en la escuela, pero en la casa es un poco más aburrido que en la escuela, pero lo extraño mucho.
I love it. And do you want to tell everybody what you said?
I said that I miss you guys a lot, and that I like my house better than school, but at my house it's a little bit boring sometimes, but I miss you guys a lot.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. Thank you, Pedrovel. And we're going to go and see our next country. So now we are going to go to Mexico City. So we're leaving the Dominican Republic and we are going to Central America. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see where we are. Uh-oh. I guess I'm just zooming in. There we are. There is Mexico City. And this is Danny and his brother Emmanuel. Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. So do you want to tell us a little bit about where you guys come from? Where your family's from?
My mom is from Cordoba and my dad is from Mexico City like I am. My dad's family is from France and my mom's family is from Veracruz.
Okay. And you just told us something pretty interesting about Cinco de Mayo. What did you tell Mr. Mateo about that?
Cinco de Mayo we don't celebrate because it's only for people who come from Puebla. Because people who come from Puebla celebrate their victory against a war against France.
That's pretty interesting though, because you just said then that your dad has family who came from France, right?
Yeah.
And then so there's a lot of European influence probably in Mexico as well.
Yeah. Mostly there's a lot of Italian people.
Okay.
I'm Italian.
You're Italian?
No.
But I speak.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. All right. So when you go to Mexico, because I know you guys did go this year even, what are some things that you like to do?
Do you want to go first? I like to be at my grandparents' house because there's like they got a big backyard and they got a bunch of plants. It's kind of like a farm there because they got a bunch of fruit trees and interesting plants to look at.
Okay. What is the weather like there? Is it also warmer than in the United States, or is it similar?
It's warmer, and in the winter times it gets a little cold and it rains and hails sometimes.
Okay. And how do you think the United States compares to Mexico? Do you think that it's the culture is very different, or what are some things that you think about?
That we in Mexico there are monuments that were built
Very, a very long time ago.
in the year 100 before Christ.
Okay.
So, and they're still standing today with no reparations till now.
And then the other thing that we had talked earlier about was food, right? And you had told me that one of the foods that you liked, what was it called again?
Tacos al pastor.
And we have tacos here in the United States, but the tacos you're talking about sound pretty different. Can you describe them to us?
So you cook them in like this big stove. And when it's cooked fully, you shave the meat off for tacos. The meat is orange, and sometimes you put a little bit of pineapple and cilantro and lemon on them.
Sound really good. Do you like those too, Emmanuel? You like tacos al pastor?
Yeah, but not that
Mhm.
much.
Not that much. And then I know for a fact that Danny, you like to play soccer a lot, right?
Yeah, I don't like
And
that soccer a lot, but I do play it.
okay, but is soccer a pretty popular sport in Mexico?
Yeah, like everyone, like it's a passion there. It's kind of like a tradition, like an everyday tradition.
Sort of like,
Someone's always playing in the streets. Or like you might not go to a soccer field, but you can build up your own soccer ball in your own soccer field.
okay. Do you have a message for your friends that you want to say in Spanish?
Mhm. Los extraño mucho, pero también me gusta estar en mi cama.
How about you, Emmanuel? Do you want to say something in Spanish to your friends?
¿Cómo estás?
I think hopefully everybody knows what that one means, right? So what did you say, Danny?
I miss everyone, but I also like being in my bed a lot.
And Emmanuel, you asked everybody how they're doing, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to say that we end our little interview, but I really appreciate you sharing information from the country where you come from.